stepping in to run the meeting for tonight. And I think we start with a roll call and then we move into the Pledge of Allegiance. So Mr. Shapulis, would you do the honors?
Yes, sir. Cross.
Here.
Holman.
Yes.
Licio.
Here.
Abbott.
Here.
All right. If you would rise to say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And to the
Public.
Which it stands. One
one
nation, under
under
God.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's always it's an important thing, but it's always kind of a cacophony of sound as all of the different times of communication come together. But it's all right. City Administrator, any changes or additions to the agenda for tonight?
There are none.
Any communication from public comments?
We did not receive any.
Okay. Some of us did receive an email communication from Colleen Ruley, and I think unless others disagree, I'll maybe address that in my comment, or should we address that at a different place, Brad?
I would suggest that you would do it in your council comments, as the submittal was not provided through the required format that we've laid out via our website as to public comment.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to not be recognized, so I'll recognize it during my comment space, and then others can join in to that part of the conversation. So yeah. All right, we'll move right into the consent agenda. The following items are considered non-controversial by staff and are recommended to be read and passed in one motion. Any council member, staff, citizen, or meeting attendee can request one or more items be pulled from the consent agenda, and the item will be pulled and addressed immediately after the passage of the consent agenda. Otherwise, the following items will be passed in one motion. A, approve City Council work session minutes from October 20, 2020. B, approve City Council minutes from October 20, 2020. C, approve the payment of bills and finance report, addendum A. D, approve 2021 delay payment on tax on special assessments for applicants with eligible hardships. E, approve an assessment agreement with David and Sabian Algren for Lot 5, Block 1, Northdale 4th edition, my mistake. F, authorize Finance Director Vasinic to process accounts payable checks in advance of November 17 City Council meeting to meet the state of Minnesota deadline for expending coronavirus relief funds. G, approve appointments for the seasonal position of warming house attendant. H, adopt resolution 2020-063, reaffirming the City of Baxter's coronavirus relief fund spending plan. I, approve purchase of squad camera system using drug forfeiture funds. J, approve resolution 2020-064, approving a revised temporary waiver of city regulations.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tabbitt. Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor, roll call.
Cross.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Licio.
Yes.
Abbott.
Yes.
And that's unanimous, so obviously no opposed. The next section is council comments, and we'll start with Councilmember Licio.
I had shared earlier before we were public, but I just wanted to thank the election judges and the poll workers for their hard work, not only the day out, but I'm guessing there was a lot of time put in before the polls opened, as well as a whole lot after. I'm just so appreciative, and I was so impressed with how the process went. So thank you to them.
Long night. So Kelly, you and your team, really right. I completely agree. Councilmember Tabbitt?
Just on the election note for now, I'll congratulate Mark on your reelection and preemptive welcoming to Mr. Ward, assuming that everything continues to shake out the way it appears it has. That's all I have for tonight.
Great. Mr. Cross, would you like to go next?
Well, thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. I have to appreciate all the support I got from our residents, our friends, our neighbors, and I take the responsibility of representing them seriously. Look forward to the next 4 years, and it will be another adventure, right? Just need, again, patience through the election, patience through the virus. We'll get through it. We'll get back to normal, some sense of normal here soon. So thank you. And that's all I had for tonight.
All right, great. Thank you. I would just echo the sentiments shared by others. Again, congratulations, Mark. You have been, tell me, it was probably in the material, but how many years have you served to this point?
Well, best I can tell, it's about 24, but that wouldn't be right. No, that would be right. It would be some increment of 4. So I believe it's around 24.
Well, congratulations, and you've seen a lot in your path, and more to come. So excited about that, and again to invite Mr. Ward, assuming. And I think we have the certification of ballots coming up in a week, right? Kelly, is that a special meeting we convene? Right. The additional comment that I would share is that I know I and maybe all of us on the council received a group email from Colleen Ruley, and it had to do with transportation safety. And specifically, I know Colleen, she lives down on 48 South, kind of at the corner. So if you go through the signalized intersection at Knollwood that goes to Forest View, she's south of that. And the reason I bring that up is that County 48, for those of us that live here and near it, is in fact kind of a walking, biking corridor. It has wide paved shoulders, and then we have separated grade trails too. But the point I think she's making and calling our attention to is that particularly in the winter, the bike trails, the trails we have that the city administers, we don't do salt sand on the trails typically. And so the county road gets even more use because the shoulders are plowed and they're out salt sanding the shoulders. So there's a lot of use, and believe it or not, it's at 5 in the morning. I'm out there at 5 and 5:30, and the walkers, the dog walkers, the runners, lots and lots of people out there. As you come north on County 48, so as you're heading north to the signalized intersection, one of the things that you bump into is the fact that walkers have to walk facing traffic, and bikes, of course, ride with traffic. So if you're a walker or a runner on County 48 going north toward the signalized intersection at Knollwood, as you approach Knollwood intersection, there is no trail on the west or left side of the road as you're proceeding north. And worse yet, there's actually a free right that comes from the Forest View Middle School direction on Knollwood. And that free right was part of the original design when Forest View was built to help spill off parents and buses, because we knew, that was going to be a big, busy intersection with drop-offs and pickups and the buses. And so that free right was put in there so that northbound traffic on Knollwood comes to the signalized intersection and can take that free right and go south on County 48. And the problem, or the safety issue, is that if you are walking or biking northbound, you run into that free right, and the people that are using the free right cannot see the walkers. There's no hope. There's no clear zone. There's elevation and ground and trees. And so there's just no way to see a walker or a biker. And then it's even worse in the winter because the snow piles up on that corner. I bring it up just to kind of get it on the radar, to carry her message forward, which I think is a good message, to ask our city engineering and Brad, maybe for you to facilitate whatever the right process is, to kind of take a look at that safety issue, because I think what she's calling out is real. It's certainly my experience there too. And I don't know if this warrants a feasibility study or just kind of an engineering review. You know, what can we do on the safety side to make that better? But just out of the gate, and what I would offer up is, imagine yourself walking north on 48 toward the signalized intersection, and that free right is kind of spilling cars right at you. If there was a spill off and a trail so that you could kind of take a left on the west side of the road and get on the trail like 100 feet south of the intersection, and that trail would connect to our existing trail, which is right there by the lift station, that would get those walkers and bikers and that danger scenario off the road where the visibility is a challenge and they're no longer there. That would be like the quickest, cheapest kind of solution, is to spill off that user group ahead of the intersection. So that's one thought. The other thought is we've really made a shift to look at roundabouts as our kind of preferred design for intersections. And had we been a little farther down that path, in that intersection was probably built in 2002, we probably would have built a roundabout there now. Versus the signalized intersections there now. We know roundabouts are safer, more efficient for all user groups and so forth. But what I'm trying to figure out, Brad, is how we kind of advance her concerns, which I think are very legitimate and real and well articulated in her message, to get further kind of engineering review or study or looking at the alternatives of that. Can you guide that? You know, I don't want us to take action, you know, on anything tonight, but maybe just put it in the we'll meet with staff and get back to you category.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, because it wasn't brought to my attention till late this morning that an email was sent to the council. So not having had the opportunity to discuss, you know, with staff what the appropriate response would be, not only to the individual, but also to the council who received it. Not at this point prepared to give a directive, but something that we'll take under advisement and let you know a path in which we can have a review and discussion.
Thank you. That's really all I had hoped to do, is get it on the list or get it on the staff's agenda, at least to take consideration of, and then you guide us as to where and how it fits and when, you know, potentially, or if ever. I just know it's a real problem spot. It's a real high traffic spot and a kind of a potential for a dangerous situation. But all right, that's all I had. Any other thoughts or comments on that email? Otherwise, we can move on.
I think with that, she was also really concerned regarding the speed, wasn't she?
Yes. Yeah, that was certainly a part of it. Again, my hope is that staff would kind of look at that whole picture from 10,000 feet and see, you know, if, what, when, where, you know, we can, if there are things we can do to improve it. All right, thank you all. City Administrator, your report.
Just two items, just a reminder that next Wednesday is Veterans Day. City Hall will be closed in observation of the holiday. And then the following day, Thursday, November 12th, we have a special meeting to do canvassing of the election results. It's a necessary step, and we have to have that done by Friday. So Thursday evening, we have that scheduled for 5:30 p.m.
Very good. And all right, thank you for your report, City Attorney.
Need a motion to go into close for the labor issue.
I would entertain a motion to go into closed, and then there'll be that break in the meeting while we go to breakout room and then come back, but we will in fact come back to report on whatever action we recommend. We can't take action in the closed session, but that action or continuance would be when we come back. Is there a motion to go into closed?
Motion to move to close.
A motion by Mark, second from Connie. All those in favor, roll call.
Ross,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Licio,
Yes.
and Tabit.
Yes.
We will take a moment to move into closed session and then return shortly. Wow, that was really quick. So does that mean we're good to go?
I believe so. With that being said, we're back in the regular session. There is no action to be taken as staff has been given directive by the council as it pertains to labor negotiations with our unions. That will be provided for future consideration for approval at a future meeting.
Thank you, Brad. And so that kind of concludes that closed session piece. Is there something we need to say about the council meeting, the special session coming up next Thursday? We talked about it, but you said it's next Thursday at
5:30 p.m. and that is a special meeting to canvass the votes, so finalize it per state statute. So.
And so would that be a Zoom or would that be?
We're participating via Zoom.
Okay.
So my question, Brad and Kelly, is do we adjourn or do we adjourn to that special meeting?
No, we would just adjourn.
Okay. Well, hearing no other business, I think we've covered our agenda and I think it'd be appropriate for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Mark, I see a second from Connie.
Connie.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take the roll call.
Cross.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Licio.
Aye.
Tabit.
Aye.
All right.
And hopefully we'll have our regular commander chief back in action for the next council meeting. So.
Well
Anyway.
done, Todd.
Yeah, thank you all. Have a good night and we'll
You
see you
too.
soon. I
Thank
hope.
you, everyone. Good evening.
Good luck. Be careful.